So welcome to the Barnsley Methodist Circuit, to another conversation about serving in our Holy Habits series. We're exploring with different members of the Methodist Church in Barnsley about their work in a voluntary capacity. And it's good to welcome Pauline Sharp today from Kexborough Church. And I think, Pauline, you do some work with the bereaved, is that right? Just tell us about that.
Yes. I work voluntarily for Barnsley Bereavement Social Support Services. We help children and adults to cope with grief on a one-to-one basis. It's quite voluntary, and you decide how much you take on and who you go to. I volunteer really because I have experienced many life-changing experiences over the years. Life wasn't very easy for the first 40 years of my life. As a child, we had a dysfunctional family life, and later on I became homeless, and then we lost all our possessions, and later on my daughter died, and I've had several other bereavements, and because of many of the numerous things, too numerous to mention, I feel that I can probably empathise and help others, and I feel it's important to go out into the community and not just be church-based. Many people need help. They need a listening ear and an understanding person, and I feel I could have done with a lot more of that in earlier years, so I feel that I can help others now. I've been a Christian since I was 13 years old, and feel the problems and needs that people have, and I've kind of helped and tried to do things over the years to help others.
Just tell us a little bit about how that process works when you're working with somebody who is referred to you. Do you meet regularly, and is it simply a listening service, or is it more than that? Is it practical as well?
We kind of take a case, and then until the pandemic anyway, we used to either give them the choice of coming to the office or going to the home. I mainly went to the home and to the home with the children as well. And with the children, you work with activities and try and get them to talk about their situation and sort themselves out, and help them to experience how they're feeling, and talk to them, and eventually most of them do come through it, and help. They can kind of, alongside their life, they can take the grief with them, and it's easier for them to cope. We do mainly ones-to-ones. We've had to do it on the phone during the virus, which wasn't very easy, and it's not very satisfactory. But when you're face to face, you can. Sometimes I've been going to schools if it's not suitable to go into the homes, and we see the children for a set period, and you judge and they judge how long they need, and you just sort it out according to how they feel and how you seem to feel that you're getting on with them.
And what would you say are the qualities that you need for that kind of work?
I think you need empathy, and you need a listening ear. You don't need to talk a lot. You need to listen and hear what they're saying, and body movements and body actions, and we do get training so that you can kind of pick up on different things and their attitudes from that. And then they decide how long they want. And you go, sometimes it's more regular, sometimes you could go weekly for some people if they're really distressed, but usually it's fortnightly, or you just agree with the person how long they need and how often, really. You get to know them very well, and it's nice for them to know that somebody's got will listen to them. Mm.
Did this work not only arise out of your own personal situation, but I think you'd also done some work in the hospice, is that right?
Yes, I did work for a number of years in the hospice in the different departments on the reception and working with the children, working in care. And then I moved on to the Barnsley bereavement after that.
So it was a natural progression from your working life once you'd retired to go into volunteering, using some of the skills that you had and picking up some of the skills and using your own life experience. That's really interesting.
Well, when I worked as a services officer for social services, so I had all the training for that and experience, so it was good to use it in the community and in church.
Tell me a little bit about your volunteering in the life of the church as well. I think that probably also has a caring element to it.
Well, we started our church started the visiting when a good number of years ago, and I kind of helped to start it uh, over the years, and then did it for a number of years, and then it passed on, and Angela does it now. She's what we did, we split all the people in the church, not only members but adherents, so that we all have so many, and then we look after those few people, and if there are any problems, ring them and talk to them and pass it on to the ministry if necessary, so that they're cared for.
Lovely. So your pastoral visiting sort of complements your work with the bereavement support service. That's really interesting that you're using your gifts both within the community and within the life of the church.
Yes. Mm.
Tell me,
Right.
what do you get out of volunteering?
Well, I like the involvement with people. I've always liked being with people, and I get involvement with the community as well as the church that way. And it's also such a privilege to be able to help people. And when people ask, it's a lovely feeling to be able to say, yes, I'll try and help you. And it's a special joy, uh, especially when you get the children and they say to you, "You've helped me." It's very rewarding when the children come to you and say, "That's really helped," and the adults too. So it's very rewarding when you can see them moving on uh, with their lives after you've tried to help them. And I mean, grief doesn't go away, but they've got to learn to live alongside it and have a life as well. And it's very rewarding when they get to that stage. Not all of them do, but we try our best in the service to help folk.
It must be very moving, actually, to see people journey in a positive way through grief, and looking back on how you've journeyed with that person and seeing where they started and where they are now. That must be quite a profound and a blessing for you, and that's a real encouragement then, isn't it, to keep going?
Yes, yeah, it's very, very emotional when you're coping with someone. So you just got to be prepared for that. But that's all part of the caring.
Lovely. Thank you, Pauline, for what you do for people in the community and for people in the church. It's been really interesting to hear your ministry of care. It's another element of volunteering, and listening and supporting and getting alongside people seems to me is reflecting the life of Jesus. So thank you for what you do and for how you do it. And I'm sure if people are interested in the work, they could get in touch with you.
If they're interested, actually, because we're always needing volunteers and we're always needing funds. Because obviously it's not council funded.
Brilliant. So if anybody was interested, speak to me and I can put you in touch with Pauline. Thank you for sharing in conversation with me this morning.
Thank you.